Being around the wrong people for too long isn't just exhausting, it can mess with sleep, mood, and even physical health. Stress piles up, energy fades, and suddenly life feels heavier than it should. Some connections do more harm than good, and recognizing the signs early is key. Let's dive into 12 clear reasons to walk away. 1. Constant disrespect. Respect isn't just about being polite, it's the foundation of every healthy relationship. When someone repeatedly disrespects boundaries, ignores opinions, or belittles feelings, it's a glaring red flag. Small acts like constant interruptions, dismissing concerns, or speaking harshly may seem minor at first, but over time, they erode self-worth. Stoicism teaches that external actions should not control inner peace, but enduring disrespect is not a virtue, it's self-neglect. Cutting ties isn't about revenge, it's about self-preservation. Have there been moments when words were twisted, feelings invalidated, or dignity ignored? Recognizing patterns of consistent disrespect is the first step to breaking free. Second, repeated negative impact on mental health. Every relationship influences emotional well-being, but some leave nothing but exhaustion, stress, and anxiety. If interactions with someone consistently leave behind a sense of dread or emotional fatigue, it's time to reflect on the damage. Stress from toxic relationships can manifest as insomnia, low energy, or even physical health issues. Stoicism emphasizes maintaining inner tranquility, but that doesn't mean tolerating harmful environments. When peace is constantly disrupted, stepping away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. A strong mind requires a healthy environment. 3. Manipulation and deception. Trust is the bedrock of all meaningful relationships. But what happens when someone repeatedly manipulates emotions or distorts reality to serve their interests? Emotional manipulation can be subtle, guilt-tripping, playing the victim, or gaslighting to make others question their own reality. Over time, this erodes confidence and personal autonomy. Past manipulation has a way of sticking around, shaping how people think and act, often without them realizing it. Stoicism, on the other hand, says that seeing things clearly, without illusions or lies, is the key to peace of mind. If a relationship is built on deception, walking away isn't just a choice, it's the only way to truly move forward. Fourth, lack of accountability. Every healthy relationship has a balance of responsibility, but when one person constantly shifts blame, avoids accountability, and refuses to acknowledge mistakes, it creates an exhausting cycle. It's impossible to grow with someone who never takes responsibility for their actions. Seneca believed that accountability keeps trust and connection strong, but when someone refuses to take responsibility, the relationship turns one-sided and draining. Stoicism teaches personal responsibility, but it also says there's no wisdom in holding on to people who won't grow. If every conversation feels like a battle, maybe it's time to step back and protect your peace. 5. Toxic communication patterns. Words can heal, but they can also destroy. If a relationship is filled with constant criticism, sarcasm, or dismissive responses, it slowly chips away at confidence. Destructive communication often turns into a power struggle, making every discussion feel like a battlefield. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, believed that thoughts shape life. If words exchanged in a relationship bring more harm than comfort, the damage isn't just emotional, it becomes mental conditioning. It's not about expecting perfection in communication, but recognizing when words are used as weapons instead of bridges. When was the last time a conversation with this person left you feeling valued instead of drained? If the answer is hard to remember, that's a sign. 6. Feeling drained instead of supported. A healthy relationship should uplift, not drain. But some people seem to take more than they give, leaving others feeling emotionally depleted after every interaction. If a relationship feels like a constant effort with little to no support in return, it's worth questioning its purpose. Emotional exhaustion isn't a sign of deep connection. It's a sign of imbalance. Relationships should bring a sense of comfort, not feel like an endless task of managing someone else's needs. When every interaction feels like a burden rather than a source of support, it may be time to step away and reclaim emotional energy. Research shows that healthy relationships need balance. If one person is always giving while the other just takes, it's not a partnership. It's exhaustion. Cutting contact isn't giving up. It's making space for connections that bring support, not just stress and imbalance. 7. Misaligned values and beliefs. Core values define how life is navigated. When a relationship constantly forces someone to compromise their morals or beliefs, it leads to internal conflict. Misalignment in values, whether in ethics, lifestyle choices, or fundamental worldviews, creates friction that's difficult to ignore. Stoicism encourages authenticity and self-awareness. If being around someone requires abandoning personal principles or constantly justifying values, it's not a relationship. It's an identity struggle. Growth flourishes in an environment that respects and aligns with fundamental beliefs, not one that challenges them at every turn. Have there been moments of pretending just to maintain harmony? If so, the cost of this relationship might be personal integrity. 8. Absence of growth or mutual support. Genuine relationships thrive on mutual encouragement. When growth is stifled and achievements are met with indifference, or worse, resentment, it's a problem. Some people don't celebrate progress because they feel threatened by it. Others prefer relationships where one person remains stagnant to maintain control. Studies suggest that lack of support in relationships can lead to feelings of isolation, even when physically present with someone. Stoicism teaches that external validation isn't necessary for self-worth, but that doesn't mean tolerating those who actively discourage personal growth. If someone is not helping elevate life, they are likely pulling it down. Surrounding yourself with people who resent growth only holds you back from reaching your full potential. A real connection should inspire progress, not make it feel like a threat. If someone constantly downplays achievements or discourages ambition, they aren't a supporter, they're an obstacle. Letting go of those who resist change opens the door to relationships that truly uplift and empower. 9. Consistent selfishness. Every relationship requires a balance between giving and receiving. When one person consistently prioritizes their own needs at the expense of others, resentment builds. This could be emotional selfishness, where conversations are always about their problems, or situational selfishness, where they only show up when they need something. Stoic philosophy emphasizes fairness and moderation. If generosity is always one-sided, it's not a healthy dynamic, it's exploitation. Long-term relationships cannot survive on one person's willingness to give while the other only takes. One-sided relationships leave little room for genuine connection, turning interactions into obligations rather than meaningful exchanges. When someone constantly takes without considering the other person's needs, it creates an emotional imbalance that leads to frustration and burnout. True relationships are built on reciprocity, not convenience. No one should feel like their kindness is being taken for granted. Letting go of selfish people isn't losing. It's making space for those who truly appreciate and respect mutual effort. 10th, indifference to personal needs and boundaries. Boundaries are essential for healthy interactions. When someone repeatedly ignores or disrespects them, it shows a fundamental lack of regard for personal well-being. This could be in small ways like forcing unwanted opinions, or larger ones, such as disregarding personal space and time. The Stoic idea of self-control applies to relationships too. If someone consistently disregards requests for respect and consideration, the only solution might be distance. No one should have to beg for the basic respect they freely offer to others. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual understanding, not constant explanations or justifications. When boundaries are ignored, it's not just frustrating, it's a sign of deeper disregard. Over time, this lack of respect chips away at confidence and self-worth. Walking away isn't about being harsh. It's about valuing personal peace over repeated disappointment. 11. Lack of trust. Without trust, a relationship is just an illusion. Constant doubt, suspicion, or past betrayals that remain unresolved create an unstable foundation. Trust issues don't always stem from major betrayals. They can develop from consistent dishonesty, secrecy, or unreliability. Psychological research shows that trust is one of the hardest things to rebuild once broken. Stoicism teaches that personal peace comes from choosing what serves mental well-being. If trusting someone feels like a constant risk rather than a natural state, it's a sign to walk away. Without trust, every conversation feels like a test, and every action is second-guessed. Living in a state of constant doubt drains emotional energy and creates unnecessary stress. A relationship without trust isn't just difficult, it's exhausting. Why stay in a connection that keeps you on edge when peace comes from letting go of what no longer feels safe? 12th, any form of abuse. No philosophy or psychology justifies tolerating abuse, whether physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological. Abuse erodes self-worth, confidence, and even the ability to recognize what a healthy relationship looks like. Stoic resilience isn't about enduring harm, it's about protecting dignity. Studies emphasize that enduring toxic environments has long-term psychological effects, making it harder to build future healthy relationships. Walking away from abuse isn't just an option, it's a necessity. No one deserves to feel trapped in a cycle of fear, guilt, or manipulation. The longer abuse is tolerated, the harder it becomes to break free, as self-doubt replaces confidence. True strength isn't found in enduring mistreatment, but in reclaiming control over personal well-being. Choosing to walk away is the first step toward healing. Cutting contact isn't about anger. It's about protecting peace, well-being, and personal growth. Relationships should be sources of support, not constant battles for dignity and respect. When a connection drains more than it gives, stepping away isn't giving up, it's choosing better. Cutting ties isn't easy, but sometimes it's the only way to protect your peace. Ever had to walk away from a toxic relationship? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're all about real conversations here. And if this hit home, make sure to subscribe for more content on leveling up your mindset and well-being.